Hi creative friends, this is Soraya and thank you so much for being here. So today what I'm going to do is I am going to show you how I got the seeds of inspiration for a new journal of mine. So I did this spread over here. It's on Bristol paper and I made a video series about it. So basically I used a cross composition to stabilize this spread. So what I mean by that is I kind of very loosely drew a cross. It's a little bit at a diagonal, and I then put some collage down, and then I built my figures over top of it, and I did make a video series about it, so I will put the links to that in the description below if in case you were interested. But I really loved the way that it turned out. I love the composition, I love the white of the page, I love the color palette, which is more subdued, and I just loved everything about it. So I just got really inspired to use that kind of foundation, the color palette, the cross, and I made so this is a brand new journal, and it's still, it's not 100% complete even in the pages that look complete, but I'm gonna do a flip through, and I don't know if you guys can kind of see that it is inspired by this. Now this you can see because it's like a very similar color palette, and I've got a lot of the same kind of like the lines here. Excuse me. So I'm just gonna, I don't even know if I can kind of do that, but that the camera might cut off on there. But so like say the lines over here, the lines, and then the lines, the same color palette. So this first spread, you can see that it's very much inspired by that, and that was done purposefully. Like I looked at this and I very intentionally replicated it because I kind of wanted to set the tone for the rest of my pages. And a lot of my other journals I will fill up, like I will cover up the cover, I'll put like collage and I'll build it up and I'll actually paint over top of it. But for these particular Fabriano journals, I don't do that because I absolutely love the design and the color, and it's actually based on a tile, I think, that's found in Venice. So it's Fabriano and it is made in Italy. So I just love this pattern, and I bought a ton of these journals when I was in Italy. So I don't want to cover it up, so this is kind of like my cover, I guess. It's kind of like setting the tone for the rest of my pages. So I'm just gonna move that off to the side, and then I'm gonna do a flip through. And I use the cross for all of my composition foundational like pieces for every spread. And if you can see, it is like different from the rest of my art journals because I'm very intentionally stabilizing it with a cross. And even this one over here, which may not seem like there's a cross underpinning it, it is. Like if I really like show you how I made the diagonals and everything. Now it's cropped, so it's not a cross like this one, but it's still a cross. Now this one over here was inspired by an Instagram post I saw on Connie Solera's account, and I just loved all the blues. But even over here, I still went with a cross, except I'm using it for the figure. And my gray faces, which I absolutely love. And I'm just exploring a more subdued color palette as well. And I absolutely love this color palette. And I think I posted this on my shorts. And again, the gray faces, I'm just really loving how elegant and moody, and just the depth. So what I am going to do here is I am going to start off a whole new spread, and I'm going to show you like what I did for all my other pages. So like I said, I'm doing a few things for each of my spreads. One of them is I'm using the cross to, you know, underpin everything. Another one is that I am going with a more subdued palette, and I'm also using my handmade collage and tea bags and dictionary pages. And I'm, you know, trying to incorporate like lines and my own handwriting text, you know, just using my Stabilo pencil, leaving some of the page blank. So those are some of the elements that I am putting into each one of these spreads. And I'm looking at it as a learning process, you know. I'm just like saying, hey, like, let me see what, you know, what new work I can create. So I think for this one, so like I said, I'm making a cross. And let me see here. And then now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of like fit my figures in here. And some of this figure might like go off the page, and that's like completely fine. It actually makes it more interesting and dynamic to me. Like sometimes people, like for other people, you know, they might be like, oh my God, that's too destabilizing, and they may not like it. You know, so it's a personal preference, but I kind of like it. It does make it a bit more difficult for me to like do a face, but if part of it is off the page, but I still enjoy doing it. So I'm gonna try to mimic these lines here, and gonna kind of go like so. And I think I'm just gonna make like a really kind of a weird kind of a figure. I'm kind of feeling it. Yeah, like see how that shoulder kind of comes like this and then the figure goes like that. It is a bit weird, but I'm kind of digging it right now. So let's just leave it and see what happens. And now I want this figure to kind of really take up this space here. And it's so exciting to work like this, you guys. And the great thing about like using, like I'm setting a very intentional, how can I say this? I'm setting like a very intentional purpose for each page, because I'm following, like I'm being inspired by this. And the more pages I do, the more creative and daring and playful I'm going to get. See, now I really kind of do like see how those figures, like I've never made figures like this before, but you know what, I'm kind of feeling it, and I'm gonna see where it goes. So 1, 2, and I wasn't going to make 3 figures because I think I want to like make a sun or a moon over here. And let me see. Yeah, we're just gonna leave it like that for now, and you know, who knows. Yeah, I think if I put another figure here, I'm not really digging that. So because these figures are really dynamic, you know, just because of the shape of them, and one of them is a little bit off the page and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna kind of lay some collage down here. And one of the things I'm really digging is that, like, okay, normally you guys, I love my bright colors. Like I really, really do. You know, just that bright red and the luminous opera, the pink, that is just so gorgeous. I mean, I love my bright colors, but I also really love neutrals. And this, you know, this color palette that I'm trying to go for in this book, I'm just really so excited to kind of dive into neutrals more. It's something that really excites me, especially for the emotional aspects of it. Like, it can be really moody and it can just offer so much depth. So that's like a really interesting kind of thing about this journal. And I'm really excited about these figures too. Like, I've never painted figures like this, so it's kind of cool. And I'm just gonna kind of like put some of this like so. And I'm using my handmade collage, but I'm trying to use it like very sparingly. And there we go. Okay, now I don't know what I want to do here. I'm thinking. So you guys, I hope you can see how it is, you know, starting to resemble this a little bit, even though there's really not a whole lot on this spread. You can see how, because I'm using the same kind of foundational aspects, you can see the similarities. At least I can, and I hope that you guys can as well. Now, I think I'm gonna put this, no, I'm gonna keep it at 3, the collage pieces, and I think I'm going to put this over over here like so. Okay, you guys, now what I'm gonna do is I'm just kind of feeling like I want this to be a moon. After I worked in the book by Chagall, you know, the children's book, I'm really digging that moon, you know. I'm just really liking it. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm kind of torn between using a blue or using a black. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of use blue over here, and then I think I might use black like on this part right here. I don't know yet, but I think that's what I'm feeling. Okay. And this ink that I'm using is actually calligraphy ink, and it's Winsor and Newton, but you know, it's ink, so I'm just gonna kind of, I love it though. It's so beautiful. Look at it. And yep, so what I'm gonna do is And I don't know, you guys, if I want to put black on here. So I'm just gonna leave it for right now. When I don't know what I want to do, then I just kind of sit on it, sleep on it, whatever the term is. And I just leave it alone for a while. Part of me wants to kind of make it like a lighter color, and part of me wants to make it black. Because in the Chagall children's book, like the backdrop was a lighter colored blue. So I'm kind of debating that. And I'm gonna drag some of that ink into the hair over here. And part of me wants to make the faces gray, so I don't know. And another part of me wants to make the faces like a burnt sienna, because I remember in the Chagall children's book, like the juxtaposition of the warm faces with the blues and the cools, it really made everything pop. So I'm kind of thinking about that as well. I'm debating it. And I think I want to go with, let me see here. No, I'm going to leave my collage alone for a minute here. And I'm just going to put some yellows in here. So you guys, I just want to point out that for this particular spread, not for all of them, I am very influenced by this spread I did over here. So, you know, not exactly, but, you know, see what I was saying about how the moon is like against a light blue backdrop. And I want to bring in some yellows, maybe some oranges. I'm thinking about going with the burnt sienna for the faces, like over here, because against the, you know, the cool background, it just is really popping. So I'm very influenced by the color palette of that, but I want to neutralize it more for this particular art journal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to neutralize this yellow over here. This is Indian yellow, and it's Chroma A2. I don't know what the maybe the brand is Chroma, or maybe it's from Dick Blick, so I don't really know what the brand is. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix it with my graphite Stabilo. And this way it's going to neutralize the yellow. And I really kind of like a neutral yellow because, like I said, you know, for this particular journal, I am going for a more neutralized palette. And I'm really loving these kind of like weird kind of figures, you guys, like this kind of sharp shoulder here. I'm just really loving it. I don't know, it's just really quirky and like interesting, you know. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of let this dry over here and not mess with it. And I'm not really even gonna worry about like repeating my colors and everything, because, you know, I'm just gonna focus on like just having a neutral palette more than, oh, I want to repeat all my colors and all of that stuff. I still don't know about the figures. Like, do I want to make them gray or do I want to make them like an earthy color? I don't know about that. So what I'm going to do, you guys, is I am going to let this dry, and I will probably do a part 2 and like talk through like some of the problems I'm facing, in the sense of like, I don't know what to do here. Should I keep it white? I don't know what color this should be, and just to see how it progresses. But if you've watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. I hope that this has been interesting and inspiring and a little bit educational, and thanks so much for watching. Bye.